Hello and welcome back. I'm B-Ball Joe and you're watching Transport Fever 2. This is the conclusion of our Megalomaniac experimental map size experiment. So, if you didn't realize it, at the beginning I built this map with the recommendations of well over 50 from the Steam forum. After I asked if anyone has anything that they do to make the map more interesting, because some of my throat, sorry. To make it more interesting because it just becomes too simple on the small maps and the large maps are hard to play. And well over 50 pointed out that all you can do, I hope that's it, all you can do, or what you can do is build a large map with less cities and smaller cities, and then you can still have a large map and play that way. The formula he gave me was 12 cities need 34 industries to be able to get fully supplied and have to have full supply chains for the industries. So that's what we did. We have 24 tiny cities, smallest cities you can build in Transport Fever 2, and we spread them out across the map in the random pattern that the map generator did for us. And that's what we tried. As you can see, if I go to our normal view, my account is at 500 million. I'm playing on hard, the hardest setting there is in Transport Fever 2. We are at a point where we don't have money problems, and we have everything connected. We don't have every product to every city yet, but it would be just a matter of time. And the one thing that I found was the cities, let's turn this thing off again. The one thing that I found was the cities don't need that much stuff. And there's a ceiling that they can grow to if we don't add mods that change that ceiling. So even if I supply 100% for a long period of time, I don't think you can grow more than 500% in a city, so 5 times, maybe a little more. It's a guesstimate, but that's even. You have to add all the connections, everything has to be fast enough, all the products have to be there, you need the inner city connection, and you need the private transport. Everything has to work perfectly, and then you get just a percentage of increase, and that's like your ceiling, you can't get over that. And most of our cities started out as around 60. So if you grow a city by 5 at 60, you get around 300 people. 300 people is not even a large city when you pop it down in the beginning. So there's just not a lot of people there, and that means there's not a lot of demand. And if you don't have those, you don't have reasons to build large supply chains that move stuff across the whole map, because 1 or 2 trucks usually suffice later on for supplying every city that you need. The problem with that for me is it doesn't get complicated enough. So we are at a point now where everything is working, we make a lot of money, and we could expand a little more here and there and make things a little more efficient maybe. But in the end, we kind of already beat the game because money is not a problem and nothing else is a problem. You could totally turn this into it's called a Dreambow stream, just make it pretty, and that would be great. It's just not really what I do. I really enjoyed the pieces for the chemical factory or the food factory, or we had the plastic and goods factory in the south. All that was great. It's just not me all the time. I like to do it when I wait for stuff, but I rather expand the network and make stuff bigger and make it happen. So I feel like my enthusiasm for this map just went down a lot, which is why I looked. The last episode I recorded was over 2 weeks ago, and that was the airport episode. And for some reason, that save is not even here anymore. So this is the episode before that. I don't know where the airports are. My enthusiasm goes down, which means when I record episodes, it probably shows. So I think it feels to me like that's a good place to stop. Just, if it's not fun anymore for me to play, it's probably not fun for you to watch. So, in conclusion, for the Megalomaniac experiment. This is played on a Predator 15 with a GeForce GTX 1070 and an Intel Core i7 7th generation processor. So it's not a light gaming machine, but it is a gaming laptop, and I am recording at the same time, so there's a lot of strain on the machine. But up to this point, it is playable. There are definitely frame rate drops and slowdowns, some that you can see, as you just saw probably in the recording, but it's playable. But it's not playable super smoothly. So there is that in between. Is it good enough? I'm gonna say no, but it's definitely doable. You can play this, and if you don't record it, you can probably get a little more out of it. But all that said, I wouldn't do this again. I would at least add a couple larger cities, at least a handful, not just a couple, and then it may become a little more challenging, but I don't see my computer being able to handle that, and I don't think most people's machines could handle that much more passengers. So I wouldn't play this again, but I'm still very hopeful that the next update for Transport Fever 2 will have performance fixes and increases, maybe some parallelization or something that helps the CPU split the workload a little better. I'm very hopeful that that update will happen eventually. It hasn't yet. It was supposed to come out end of November. We're beginning December now. But when that happens, I will probably revisit this and see if there are improvements that I could, for example, change a couple cities out to be large or mega cities or something bigger, and then we can see if we want to do this. Another thing that I felt very strongly, starting in 1950 to have buses and other things at the beginning, helps with the money a lot, but to me it takes away a little of the fun of going and evolving your map and evolving your cities and evolving your network. So I don't think I would do that again. I'm not sure if I start in 1850, but before 1900 for sure. So that's another thing I would do differently. And then for the next map, I'm thinking of something closer to what Grand T is currently playing on, the Alps. It's just a relatively small map. I think it's a medium-sized map with a lot of terrain issues. It's a custom map that has a couple factories, just different. But that's the size of the map that I want. That's the type of terrain that I would look for. It is challenging enough, but the map is small enough that you can't clutter it too much. And on that map, I would probably try the next network, maybe. I'm not sure when it's going to be. I'm not going to abandon this game. I pick this game up very often. Yeah, it's not going to be over right now. It's just going to continue, and there will be a new series, but this one is over for now. I'm definitely going to revisit the performance when the next update comes out and see if that changes something. If it does, if I can build a huge network, it's probably going to come back very soon. If the huge network is not a thing, maybe I have to wait until I get a new computer, which is something I'm planning on. I'm just waiting for hardware that's currently not available. So, yeah, that's what I have. I think it will work for some people. It's not working as well as I wanted to for my taste, and all tiny cities is just not... It doesn't add to the challenge enough that it makes it worth it for me. You need a couple big cities to make it work. And then you can play with mods and other things to grow your cities faster and bigger. It's just something I try to avoid just to see how this works. But that's all I have. I am covering a different game right now, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. It's maybe my favorite game. It's definitely my favorite city builder. It's very similar to this, but very different. Yeah, come check it out if you haven't already. It's a super fun game. And yeah, thanks everyone for following along with this series. Really appreciate for you guys coming around. There will be a next one. Hope you guys come back for that. But for now, bye!